Hey guys, welcome to Freedom in a Budget. I am Kelly and I'm so glad that you're here. It is Dumping Debt Friday time. Now, I do get a couple questions of why do you call this Dumping Debt Fridays when you're not in debt anymore? Well, I debated back and forth on if I was going to change the name, what I was going to do. But so many of you guys are still in debt and fighting to get out of debt. And so I was like, guys, it's not just for me, it's for you as well. So whether you're in debt, whether you're savings, whether you're on baby step 7 and you are building wealth and giving, whatever step you're on, I want this to apply to you guys. So I didn't want to change the name. I didn't want to change it because so many of you guys already love it, Dumping Debt Fridays, and it's just a video that I love doing. I love Q&As. I love connecting with you guys. I love getting your questions and being able to give my answers. Now, I'm not a financial planner. I am not a CPA or anything like that. This is just my personal opinion. I've done lots of research on Dave Ramsey. I've listened to him for hours and hours. Like, I can't even count how many hours I've listened to him and just the knowledge that I've learned from him. So it's just strictly my opinion, my life experience. Sometimes these are weight loss questions, sometimes they're financial questions, sometimes they're just what are you and Jamie doing? What's going on? So they can just be any type of question. So if you have a question for me, please leave it down below in the comments and I'll be sure to answer in an upcoming video. All right, so I have some really great questions and some money wins. So make sure you stay to the end to hear the money wins and celebrate with them because they're so exciting and I'm just so proud of you guys. All right, first question is from Diana Jean. And she says, what happens if you have an unexpected bill? Example, the dental bill that was more than you'd save. So do you use your medical fund? What if you do? If you have an unexpected emergency tomorrow, from which account would you withdraw the funds? I'm a very risk adverse, but I also don't want to save too much in a don't touch money that should be going towards goals. Does that make sense? Absolutely. So two things. As you are working on your budget and getting out of debt and everything, you start to build more than you are, or earn more than your bills are, because you're cutting your grocery bills, you're cutting your eating out, you're cutting your personal money, and you're not spending extravagantly like you used to. I remember when I first did my zero-based budget and I got a $200 raise because I wasn't factoring in all this stuff. I wasn't, if I had $200 left over at the end of the month, I would just keep it in there and be like, oh, I'm doing awesome. I was ahead. No, you need to put that towards your goal. So for me, that went towards my debt, that went towards my student loans. And if I didn't before, something would come up. I would just spend that $200. Marshalls would be having a sale and I'd buy some shirts, or this would come up, or this would come up, because I wasn't owning my money. My money was owning me. So when I started cutting that, and then also making side hustles and doing extra jobs on the side and babysitting, different things like that, my income grew. Or overtime that I asked my bosses for, my income would grow. So I'd have leftover money. So there were times when I was getting out of debt or cash flowing my wedding, that something would come up. And rather than putting that extra $500 towards the debt of the wedding, I had to cash flow it. And there was many times that happened, but I'd rather that than swiping a credit card and going into more debt. So yes, it stinks that you can't be putting that money towards your goal, or towards your savings or towards your debt, but it's so much better than going into more debt. All right, so say you don't, that's scenario one. Say you don't have that much money left over at the end of the month, then you're gonna have to pull from your emergency fund. And that's what it's there for. Your transmission blows. You have dental work that you have to get done like I did. You have, something happens. Like when I had those burns down the side of my body and I had to go to the urgent care and spend money out of pocket. Yeah, I wanted to put that extra, $60, $70 towards debt, but I had to take care of myself, and that's what was important. At that time, I don't think I had the medical fund. I think that's what made me start it. So I just pulled out my emergency fund, and you know what? Next month, I reflowed it and built it back up. So things happen, but that's what the emergency fund is there for. I know some people that get so stingy with the emergency fund, and I was the same way. I didn't want to spend it. I was so proud that I had built up that money that I didn't want to spend it. But you need to sometimes. Emergencies happen and you don't want to have to take up more debt, or you don't want to have to take care of something. I've learned the hard way with my car. I get so stingy. I don't want to fix things in my car. I'm like, oh, I'll put it off, put it off. It's okay. I don't need to. Well, then something bigger can happen. You know, for just a small example, you don't want to spend the $30 every 3 months to get an oil change. You know, it's a simple example, but if you don't do that and you want to save that $30 for a year and get the, you know, $120, whatever it is, something bad can happen to your car, and it's going to be so much more than the $30. So we need to make sure we're not being stingy with money like that, and just pull from your emergency fund. It's okay. It's what it's there for. All right, next question is from Centsible Living with Money Mom, who has a great channel. She is so sweet. I love her channel. And she says, Kelly, I have a question. By the way, I love this series. It is so helpful. Would you have 2 different savings, one for emergency fund for car, medical, etc., and a separate fund if you lose your job? A no-touch savings. Thanks. It can be overwhelming with so many savings and sinking funds. This is a good question. I personally just have one fund. You know, I am saving for my 3 to 6 months of emergency fund expenses. I'm on baby step 3. So before I just had the $1,000, and that was my emergency fund. Now I'm saving the 3 to 6 months because I'm out of debt. I don't have that to worry about. And so that way, if something does happen to my job or Jamie's job, then we'll be fine. And we've also learned to live off of just one income. We only live off of my income, and we bank Jamie's income. It goes straight to sinking funds. No, it's not just 100% his income is going in the bank, but it's going towards our emergency fund, my new car fund, the building fund, Christmas fund, gifts fund, vacations fund. It's all getting dispersed. Now, I was thinking about this the other day. Say something catastrophic happened and we had to pull, you know, we have, I think, like 3 or 4 grand in there right now. Say we needed 5 grand. Would we take out a loan for the other and not touch it? No, we would touch it. It would suck. You know, I wouldn't want to pull from my car fund or from vacation fund or something. But at the end of the day, if something happened and we needed that money, we would pull from it. It's an emergency fund for anything. And yes, it's categorized towards that, but at the end of the day, you need to take care of what is most important and what your emergency is. So, and then the car fund would just be put on hold. The vacations would just be put on hold. But I don't know, I personally don't think that you should have, you know, multiple different ones for that, but everyone is in different state. Everyone has different, you know, work issues and different things. And some people don't know if they're going to come into work tomorrow and said, I'm sorry, but we have to let you go. Jamie and I's job are very stable. We feel very confident in them. And some people aren't like that. So, you know, if you're afraid that you're going to be cut or, you know, layoffs are going to happen, whatever, then build up an extra emergency fund. Dave always talks about, following the baby steps, but if something happens, you need to take care of that. For example, if you get pregnant, then you have to pause whatever baby step you're on and save up a bunch of cash. For us, we didn't pause baby step 2, but we weren't being as aggressive with it because we want to cash flow a wedding and we don't want to take out more debt for a wedding. Now, some people are very against that. I know Budget Girl has talked about that. She doesn't feel like you should slow down baby step 2 for a wedding. I was different. We all have different opinions. We all have different goals and dreams. I've always dreamed of a big wedding, and to her that may not be as important, or she may have put it off until after baby step 2, which now she's after baby step 2. So if, you know, something does happen, Jacob does propose, it's a totally different scenario. And it all depends on where you are in life and, you know, what your dreams and goals are. So if you feel like you need I may lose my job emergency fund, then build it. Then I support you in that. I think it's a great decision. It all depends on where you are in life. All right, next question is from my girl, Living Large on Lifetime, Julie. Love her. She says, thank you so much. So inspiring. I'm getting there with our budget. Learning it can help so much more. I need to see everything in black and white, so I'll be writing mine down in a notebook. But I can't wait to see some big ol' sinking funds like yours. So you paid off $20,000 plus in what, year and a half? What would you say was your biggest tip for paying off quickly and getting to where you are now with sinking funds? Biggest tip. Just being disciplined. You know, when you set a grocery budget, when you set an eating out budget, don't go over. And if you do have any leftover money, put that towards your goal. Put it towards your sinking funds. Put it towards, you know, paying off debt, whatever you are. A lot of people will have $5 left or, you know, $20 left, and they'll be like, oh, I'll just roll over that for next month. Next month we can get some steaks, or we can get something really good for dinners, for our grocery budget. No, stick to your grocery budget. If you have any leftover, put it towards it. Also, side hustle. Side hustle is huge. When you get to have that gazelle intent and want to build your money and really hit your goal, find out what a side hustle you can do, whether it be YouTube or picking up kids. If you're a mom and you're already picking up your kids from school, see if there's other working moms that would want their kids to be picked up as well, and maybe watch them for a couple hours. I know so many of moms at work that would love, love, love to have that rather than having to leave work early. And it would just be such a big blessing. They wouldn't have to stress about it. I have so many moms that get out at 5 o'clock on the dot, and they're like, okay, this elevator better be quickly because I'm going to charge per minute if I pick up my kids late after 5:15 or 5:30, whatever it is. And they are like hustling. If they had someone that was picking up their kids, they wouldn't have to worry about it. They would, you know, and they're paying you $20, whatever it is, it's no big deal. And if you're watching them, even better. So find stuff like that, something on Etsy or whatever it is. Find out what you're good at and make a side hustle around it. See what you can do. And it's so much fun. You can really just grow, and you'll see how word gets around. You'll see how you can just make so much extra cash from side hustles. All right, let's see. Last one is from my everyday wife life, and she says, do you save for retirement, or did I miss that savings category? You're doing great. Keep up the good work. So we're not saving for retirement right now. We are going to beef it up as soon as we are done with baby step 3. So we're going to be done in a few-ish months. So as soon as that's done, we are going to go right to 15% of retirement. So we're going to do our 401ks, and we're going to do Roth IRAs for both Jamie and I. All right, and we have one money win. I'm so excited, and it is from TSP, and they said, my budget is set up. I started Dave Ramsey budget back in July, and I worked out the kinks. So now January budget is just about bulletproof. It's a good feeling to know exactly where my money is. I sleep like a baby at night, just knowing that my finances are under control. I am so proud of you. That is so true. I remember when I was living paycheck to paycheck, I was so worried of what was gonna happen. I was so worried if I was gonna be able to pay rent. Like, I do not miss those days at all. They were so stressful. I'd have to work it out. So, okay, I get paid on the 2nd, but my rent due is between the 1st and the 4th, and I can't make sure that I give them the check. I have to pay this bill late because of this, and if I don't want to overdraft here, oh crap, I did overdraft. It was just so stressful. But once I got on the zero-based budget, I really just, it was so freeing. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So if you aren't on a zero-based budget, please, please, please get on with them. It's gonna change your life. All right, guys, so that is all I have for today. Please leave any questions or money wins down below in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer them in an upcoming video.